The 4% rule, Monte Carlo simulations, even traditional guardrails, they all share the same fatal flaw. They assume you'll figure out what to do when markets tank or unexpected expenses hit. So you spend your entire retirement second-guessing every withdrawal with no clear guidance on what to actually do. There is a different approach that tells you exactly when to cut spending, when you can safely spend more, and how to protect the lifestyle that matters most through every phase of a 30-year retirement. And it's designed to eliminate the constant anxiety about whether you'll outlive your money. I've been using this system with my clients for years because it's the only approach I found that actually adjusts as retirement unfolds, not just at the beginning. So today, I'm going to walk you through 3 things. First, why the Monte Carlo probability you got from your advisor doesn't actually tell you what to do each year. Second is how your spending naturally changes across the 4 phases of retirement and why planning for one static number sets you up to fail. And third, the system that gives you clear guidance on how much to withdraw every single year, even when markets don't cooperate. If we haven't met before, hi, I'm Rosanna Quinan, a chartered financial analyst and founder of QueenVest. So let's get into it. You probably already know about the 4% rule and Monte Carlo simulations, and you may have even run a financial plan and received a score. Maybe it's 80%, maybe 90, or even higher. And initially it feels good. It gives you confidence, but then you realize, what does this actually mean? How do I know the amount I can take out each year? If markets drop, do I adjust? By how much? What if I want to help my daughter or inflation spikes or I live to 95? That success rate doesn't change your behavior. It doesn't tell you when to adjust. You still live second guessing every withdrawal for the next 25 years. What you need is a different approach. One that actually tells you how much income your assets can safely support and whether you can spend as you planned or if you should take out a slightly different amount. Because in addition to your need to spend, conditions are constantly shifting. Markets go up and down, inflation changes, you don't know how long you'll live. Life is unexpected. The roof leaks, your daughter needs help, health issues pop up. So with all this uncertainty, you need a way to account for all these risks in your plan and still know how much you can live on. There is something called risk-based guardrails that does exactly that. So what are these guardrails? It's a system that uses Monte Carlo in a completely different way. Rather than calculating a probability of success or failure at the beginning and leaving you on your own, it calculates the probability of you having to make an adjustment. And if that probability rises, meaning your plan is drifting into risky territory, it gives you a clear signal to change your spending. You keep making small adjustments that keep that probability of adjustment within a certain band as you go along. Think of it like a thermostat for your retirement spending. You set your comfortable temperature, your ideal spending level. The guardrails monitor conditions constantly. When things get too hot or too cold, when risk rises, or when you have more room than you need, the system signals you to make a small adjustment to get back in range. You're not making drastic changes. You're making small, early corrections to keep everything stable. Now, you do need to keep regularly updating your information and recalibrating your spending, but it's not drastic. Most people adjust well. And what I hear constantly from clients is that it gives them confidence, clarity, and clear guidance on what to do each year. No more guessing, no more wondering if you're taking too much or taking too little. So how do you actually use guardrails? Well, first you need to understand that your spending is different throughout your retirement. As you move through it, your needs change. Your interests and goals change, and what you spend money on changes, and how much you spend changes as well. So the question, how much do you need for retirement, can't be answered with one static sum. It goes up and down. One way to think about it is to divide your retirement into 4 phases, each with different priorities and different costs. Researchers at the MIT Age Lab identified these phases, and understanding them completely changes how you plan. The first phase is the honeymoon phase. This is what people dream about: travel, experiences, freedom, time with family. You're finally using the wealth you spent decades building. And what surprises most retirees is that this is often the highest spending period of retirement. Not later, but in fact earlier. Being overly conservative during this phase can cost you some of the healthiest, most active years of your life. The next phase is the decision phase. The initial excitement gives way to deeper questions and discussions. Where do we want to live long term? How do we want to spend our time? What truly matters now? Financial decisions made during this chapter are often irreversible, relocating, supporting family members, reshaping your lifestyle. This is where thoughtful planning becomes incredibly valuable. If you're fortunate, retirement then becomes less about excitement and more about sustainability, and you enter the third phase, longevity. The focus shifts toward maintaining independence and ensuring your resources can support a life that may last longer than previous generations ever experienced. At this stage, the greatest financial risk is no longer short-term market volatility. It's the possibility of outliving the resources that support your independence. And eventually, many retirees find themselves navigating life independently, whether through the loss of a spouse or changing health in the solo journey phase. Here, simplicity often becomes more valuable than optimization. Clarity matters, reliability matters, ease matters. So once you have clarity on what these phases will cost you, then you can start matching these needs to your assets. In many ways, you're creating a personal balance sheet. Your income assets on one side, your spending obligations on the other. If the structure supports your lifestyle, you're in a strong position. If not, it simply means more thoughtful planning is needed. But either way, your first calculation will never last forever. Retirement requires ongoing adjustment. So here is how this works in practice. With risk-based guardrails, you start by defining what matters. Your spending floor, the baseline lifestyle you need to maintain. For most high savers, this is about 70 to 80% of ideal spending, or your pre-retirement spending level. Your upper comfort level, your full lifestyle when conditions allow, typically 20 to 30% above your floor. Your flexibility zone, everything between these two levels. This is where you actually live most of the time. Now, here is the key. Your guardrails aren't based on arbitrary portfolio drops. They're based on your safe withdrawal rate, your ability to sustain your floor spending for the rest of your life. When your safe withdrawal rate stays healthy, meaning your portfolio can comfortably support your floor indefinitely, you're in the green zone. Spend comfortably. If it drops and threatens your ability to sustain your floor, that's your lower guardrail. Time to trim discretionary spending strategically. If it rises significantly, on the other hand, markets have been strong, your portfolio is robust, that's your upper guardrail. You can safely spend more. In many ways, this mirrors how pension funds operate. Pension funds don't guess what they can pay retirees. They continuously monitor whether their assets are capable of supporting future obligations. And when conditions shift, they make thoughtful adjustments. And once you retire, you're essentially running your own personal pension. And the most resilient retirement strategies treat it that way. So let's just go through a numeric example just to see this in practice. Say you retire with a solid portfolio. You set your comfortable spending at $100,000 a year. Your floor, the minimum you need to spend to maintain your lifestyle, is $75,000. Years 1 to 3, markets are stable right after you retire. You're well within your guardrails. You take out $100,000, adjust for inflation, you sleep well and enjoy your time and your freedom. Year 4, markets drop 25%. With your old Monte Carlo plan, you're staring at your statement wondering if you should panic. With risk-adjusted guardrails, you check, can I still sustain my $75,000 floor long term? If yes, and often the answer is yes, even after a significant drop. And this is the main difference between the risk-adjusted guardrails and any other system, you're still fine. Maybe you trim some discretionary spending, skip the big vacation this year, but you're not in crisis mode. And if continuing at $100,000 threatens even your baseline, you make clear strategic cuts to discretionary spending until you're back to protecting your floor. You know exactly what to do without any paralysis or any guessing or any panicking. And then as the retirement goes on, say year 6 to 8, markets recover strongly and your portfolio is way up, then your safe withdrawal rate is now well above your upper guardrail. You can confidently increase spending. Take that trip, help the kids and grandkids upgrade your life. Because not guess. Know that your floor is protected and you have room to spend. So with guardrails and the software that makes these calculations for you, you're able to be thoughtful about your needs and goals first. Then you can start your retirement with a plan and have a system that adjusts over time to help you maintain your lifestyle without being afraid of running out of money. I've been using this system for a while with my clients because it just makes so much more sense. It actually allows for real life, not hypothetical scenarios or rigid calculations that you do once and then they become stale, leaving you more confused than anything else. It gives you what Monte Carlo never could: clear guidance on what to do each year as your life and markets change. If you're interested in a system that helps you plan your retirement and also manage it as you go, instead of just guessing and worrying, fill out the form below and let's run your numbers so you can see what your retirement will actually look like. Because retirement isn't static, and your withdrawal strategy shouldn't be either. I'll see you in the next video.